I have a question for you before we keep going. Why are you doing this? Why are you being a part of this V20 journey? Now, some of you guys go, well, of course we know why. We want to get closer to Jesus. No, why? I want to ask you why. Well, because Jesus says, that we should be discipled, and we've talked about that. No, I want to ask you, why? I'm going to be the annoying little 2 or 3-year-old who keeps saying, why? Why? Why do we want to grow? Honestly, why? Let's say at the end of these 9 months, you feel much closer to God. Can we just conclude that that's the reason why? Have you settled for yourself that question, why would I enter into this? I want to show you guys something. I find this actually really helpful for me. Some of you guys have maybe heard of a guy named Simon Sinek. He's like a business guy. Has some really interesting things he talks about. And one of them that he talks about is called the golden circle. So here's what he says. He looks at kind of he looks at people, he looks at any kind of organization, and he says people are really good at answering the question, what? And they're really good at answering the question, how? But very rarely do they answer the golden circle question. And the golden circle question is, why? So here's an example. Tesla. Think of the company Tesla. What do? Well, they make cars. Make some really cool cars. How do they do it? Well, they make them that are really nice, sleek, great-looking cars that operate without gasoline. Okay, that's the how of what they do. Why? Why do they do it? I don't know. I mean, if you went to a Tesla employee, would they be able to tell you what and how, but maybe they wouldn't be able to say why? And I'm sure they've got that figured out, but I'd be very intrigued if they have a statement that says, you know what, the why is we want to fundamentally change the way people think about transportation and the way transportation rescues our environment or changes our environment. All right, that would be a really compelling why that would make me go, maybe I want to be a part of that. Guys, when we think about what you're doing right now, maybe have we answered the question what and how, but maybe have we not answered the question why? You might look at this next few months and you might say, well, what's the what? The what is we're thinking about how do we grow as followers of Jesus, as disciples of Jesus, as apprentices of Jesus. That's the what. That's what we're working on, right? How are we doing that? We're doing it with stuff that we read. We do it with practices that we're engaged in. We're doing it through relationships that we have with each other. We've got a what, we've got a how, but why? Why are we doing all this? Have you answered that question for yourself? Here's what I'm getting at. If you don't have an answer to the question why, you can live on these two questions for only so long. In fact, if we don't answer the question why, I think sometimes for me anyway, I get tired and I'll give up on this stuff. This stuff in and of itself isn't going to keep you in this game. Here's maybe an answer to the question why. Why would I want to grow in my discipleship, my following of Jesus? Why would I want to do that? You guys have been reading a lot of Dallas Willard, and you're going to be reading Dallas this whole year. Here's Dallas's answer to the golden circle question. And this may or may not be yours, but here's what Dallas would say. The reason why we are apprentices in following Jesus is there is no situation or circumstance in my life to which following Jesus is not the answer. There's no circumstance in our life where following Christ is not the answer. There's no relational challenge you face. There's no economic challenge you face. There's no problem at work that you face. There's no parenting problem that you face. There is no circumstance in my life where if I am transformed and I am living my life as if Jesus were living my life, that is not the answer. That doesn't mean all the problems are going to go away. That's not what Jesus said about himself. But the why is, Jesus is the answer to all these circumstances in our life. I want you to stop and think, do you actually believe that? When I first heard it, I went, okay. But do you actually believe that? And if you don't, that might be okay, but what is your answer to the question why? You guys, I don't want you to keep going over these next 9 months without an answer to the question why. Do not settle for the surface level questions of what and how. We've got to get to why.